Hello and welcome to our latest unit on single variable and bivariate statistics. This forms part of the Year 10 syllabus, Year 10 5.3, and we're going to be looking at stats, numbers, data, why, what's the point, etc, etc, etc. So in this unit, loosely we break it down into two sections, two halves. The first half we have is single variable, second half we have is our bivariate statistics here as well. Single variable is revisionish. So you might have seen quite a bit of this in previous years. What we're going to do with single variable, what is single variable versus bivariate data? Good question. Single variable is all to do with one particular variable. So one particular number, one particular measure. So if I'm measuring height, height would be single variable data. Okay. All I know for height, I might get some typical heights, 170, 175, 180, etc. And for my single variable data, what I'll look for typical scores. I will look for range, standard deviation, a bunch of statistical measures here. I'll also be able to draw graphs, just measuring one factor. So for my height, I'll be able to find what a typical height is. I'll be able to find how spread my heights are. I'll be able to find how unique or weird a score is in my height category. It's all to one variable. My only variable there is height. My second part of my unit, bivariate statistics. Bivariate has to do with two. So bivariate, like bicycle, bicycle two, biathlon, two sports. I'm sure you can think of all sorts of things to do with bi. What this part of the unit is looking at in particular is being able to plot bivariate statistics, so being able to plot data much like we do coordinates, and then looking at connections. So this here is looking for typicalness. Oh dear. So what typical scores are, what is normal, and what's normal as well, or weird, and graphing. Our bivariate statistics part of our unit is really looking at graphing. And I think our most exciting part of this unit comes from bivariate, and that is looking at connections. So connections, we might take the example of height and weight, and height is one variable, weight's another variable, but if I collect both those parts of information off a student, so height and weight of one student, height and weight of the next student, height and weight of the next student, height and weight of every single student in my class, I can get a pretty good idea if there is some connection between height and weight. And that is the exciting part of this unit, I believe anyway, and we'll look at that in a bit of detail when we get to it. So you can think of all sorts of crazy connections, and I've got some weird examples in there for you. Height and weight is just a nice little example, as we'd expect. As height increases, weight increases, but we can connect all sorts of lovely things like work ethic in maths, achievement in maths, as well as just random things as well. So loosely speaking, that's our two halves of our unit. Single variable, bit of revision, bivariate, all new. The connections part is pretty exciting. I'll definitely be looking forward to that part of the unit. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the unit.